Welcome to the Morning Nerdy News. Today, we have updates on several technology things, everything from cameras, cars, graphics cards, and TikTok, as well as a little bit of gaming news. It is a little bit slower on that front today. I'm your host, Gray Falcon, and we're going to go ahead and move into here and start off with a little bit of Stadia news. They're basically trying to say, hey, I still exist. And they're showing that you'll be able to get games like Immortals Fenyx Rising, which is one of Ubisoft's new games. And they're publishing things for Marvel's Adventure. Wow, Adventures. Marvel's Adventures. And they've got Hitman and Super Bomberman Online as their new free stuff, as well as Metro Last Light. It's kind of still sad at this point. They keep advertising. I swear, whenever I watch YouTube, it is 90% of what I see for ads right now is Stadia. So I figured I'd go in, take a look, see what's going on over there. And I'm going to be perfectly honest, it's not looking good. I mean, they have this stuff up and available, but they haven't done anything to compete with Project XCloud that's about to come out. We're only a couple of days away. I mean, we're talking September 15th, and we're what, the 11th right now? And that means they have 4 days to come up with something epic in order to compete, and they're just not doing it. So if any of you are out there still playing Stadia Pro or Stadia at all, let me know. Ubisoft yesterday had their Ubisoft Forward, and they have up on their website for information in regards to the game, and I'm going to be honest, there isn't much that's entertaining there. I've watched through the video, and it's definitely a Breath of the Wild type of clone. Don't be fooled by the wings. Maybe you get to fly later on in the game, but so far from what I've seen, it's more of a glider mechanism. They're basically making it so they pop out of your back using this little device here, and then you glide. And I'm sure the gliding gets better as the game goes on, but for the most part, it's not really flying. It's mostly gliding. You get your horse and you jump up and you throw it down below you, and so you're not whistling to call your horse. You're kind of magically summoning your horse. It kind of looks mechanical in a way. The puzzles look fine. They look just as entertaining as what any Zelda game puzzle would be. So I don't really have a complaint there. But the combat, I just can't get behind it. They are going to have to do some more polishing. I went over and I watched IGN's video of it, and it just looks like it needs work. It doesn't look challenging. They have the scene where you shoot and fire your bow, but it has this like magic arrow that goes, and you're zoomed in on the arrow that moves super slow to track, and you don't even track. You move it yourself to hit your target. And it looks like the entire game battle pauses while you're firing that arrow. And then it zooms back and everything's still in the exact same place, and it pops up that you did a little bit of damage. It doesn't slow down. When you're firing your arrow, the creature that's in the air, its wings are still flapping at the same speed as it was in the other version, so it doesn't give you the impression that time was slowed down for everything but your magic arrow. It's just unfortunate. It looks like it had potential. It looked like it could have been a lot of fun. I think it needs more time. Now, according to the leak that I saw, I think last week, this isn't coming out till December 10th, so perhaps they still have enough time to go in there and clean up some of these combat things. But as of right now, I'd wait for reviews on this one, because I'm worried that just the way the gameplay was shown for the combat system, that this is going to have some issues, or it's just not going to be enjoyable to move through that world. So Pac-Man Geo turns real world roads into mazes. The new Pac-Man game, which will launch this month, turns road map data into Pac-Man levels. Now, this is over on Gamespot, and they don't really have any true detail on how this game is played. They even said they don't know how it's going to be played. because you get roads from all over the entire world. And given everything that's going on right now, not really practical to travel and go experience those other locations. So this may have where you go out and walk around your own neighborhood, but then you can also download or play otherworld locations just from your phone without actually having to get up from your couch. This will be entertaining. I'm sure I will pick this up, get out and play it, and we'll find out how it actually plays once it releases later on this month. And in some kind of bad news, GameStop is set to close 300 more stores this year. But this is an update to that story. So that was the original story. But the update says that as of their most recent investor call, they are going to have to move that number up from 300 to between 400 and 450 stores. They've just been hit too hard, and while online sales were up 800%, it still wasn't as much as was actually expected by analysts, and they're just not recovering the money that they're losing. So I'm going to move on over into some tech news, and we're going to start off with gaming tech with Nvidia GeForce RTX 3060 Ti specifications leaking out. This is over on Wccftech, and they have information on the specs. If we get down in here, it shows Nvidia GeForce RTX 3060 Ti. It's got the Ampere, the Samsung 8 nanometers again, and 17.4 billion transistors, just like the 3070. The real difference is in the CUDA cores, which is 4864, which is less than the 3070. And the tensor cores are 152. And up next we have Trump says deadline for TikTok sale won't be extended. So effectively, TikTok has been trying to sue the Trump administration, saying that they are illegally preventing them from operating in the states independently, that they have to sell off. TikTok is claiming that they're now meeting all the regulation codes, even though they were found last November to be collecting your information on Android devices by using hidden code without actually providing the necessary requirement of saying, hey, do you want us to be able to collect this data from you? They're like, we're abiding by all the rules. We're following this. Extend this cut off for us. We don't want to have our product suddenly disappear from the market. And Trump has said, no, you're either going to sell or you're gone. Your extension is almost up. Make a choice, figure out what you're doing. And the issue here is that they're owned by a Chinese company, and at any time, China's government can simply say, you're required to give us this information. You're required to come in and give us all the information you've collected and all your users from the US. And that can create a security problem. That can mean that they can potentially track senators, governors, members of the press, anybody. They could go out there and be tracking people, trying to figure information out. All of a sudden, you have Secret Service who have this on their phones, and they're able to track their movement. And that's not good. There's nothing good about what can happen if China comes in and decides to take this information. And in final news, Apple confirms the Apple One subscription bundle in its own Apple Music app code. While this hasn't officially been announced, there have been rumors, there has been talk that there is going to be a subscription service that covers everything. I believe Bloomberg did the initial review of this, saying they're going to put all of their subscription services under one pricing, and they're going to call it Apple One. Well, in the new Apple Music update, in their actual code, they have your Apple Music subscription will be included in Apple One starting, and then it has %S. So that's probably indicator for whatever date that it's going to be. So their actual code is verifying Apple One as a part of this as a new service. So if you have a lot of Apple products and you'd like to have it all under just one pricing for all their subscriptions, if you do their Apple TV Plus, their Apple Music streaming service, their Apple Arcade, they've got quite a few services. they'll have it all in one bundle. We don't know pricing yet, but this pretty much confirms that this is coming. It's just a matter of, will you pay for it? And if you do, are you getting a discount for going all in on Apple in this regard, or are you still going to be paying the same price for all of it, but you only have to make one payment now? A little exhausted today, so I feel a little off my game, but otherwise, thanks for hanging out. Remember to click the follow button if you haven't already. If you're over on YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe, and make sure to follow me on Twitter as The Gray Falcon, where we can talk about exciting tech news, other information, or fantasy football, or, just hang out and tweet about games together. I'll catch you all later. Have a good one.